Welcome to the zone where geeks collide, where comics and heroes come alive. Marvel, DC, Starfleet in the mix. Lightsabers flash, we're nerding out quick. Rican's the name of the show. Dive into the worlds you already know. From the big screens to the comic store. Super stories and so much more.
Welcome to another episode of Nerdaricans. I'm crazy Fan Flick Lou.
And I'm gonna kill myself at the end of this.
Still spawn of Satan on this side here, but very inflamed. And as always, I am just, this time I'm easy Mo. I'm gonna take it easy.
I was gonna say easy Mo.
All right. And then you heard the bell?
Yeah.
Bing.
Right? Mm-hmm. I have my phone on silent.
Mo, take it away.
As went before the break, before we even started, we were discussing with the idea of fan flicks, flash fan films, and the rest of.
I like Fan Flick.
I like fan films and fan flicks. I've been reading, or excuse me, listening since they're in audio form, different sites that have been holding and had stories that were of great interest. Some of them were so sweet. I was like, wow, that's good.
But something about Fan Flick, the word is cool.
But
I'm gonna walk out, and yeah, I think I'm kidding.
But as far as it was AI driven, I am not 100% sure. But she did have a, how can I say, a disagreement with the idea that it's AI driven and people are stealing material
Let her
from
explain.
other people.
Let her explain. Go.
No, he said it.
Okay.
That's it. And it's not all, I mean, to me, it's like, I don't know what the creator was doing. But what I was reading, and I read, like, they had one that had, like,
You weren't
27
reading.
different
He
stories.
was watching a podfic. Let's be clear.
Okay, so it is a pop flick. It's a pop flick. It's
It's
an
a
audio. It's an audio
podcast.
drama of a what if that they had on. So I listened to it. It was very good. Well written. What it was to me, I was like, look, AI is a tool as far as I'm concerned. That's just me. It's a tool. How it's used, I can't. No. Again, like every tool, it can be used for good. It can be used for nefarious reasons, which, of course, like she said, it could be stolen from other people. But again, if in the legality of it, if it's not copyrighted or trademark, how do you fight it? And then how do you fight it since your work or your story is original, but at the same time, once it gets out there, it's out there. It's out there. How do you protect it? How do you protect it? I mean, I don't know for sure unless you copyright the material, but if you copyright the material, then the source material itself that you got it from could sue you for that. You can't. So now you're unprotected, but you're putting the story out there so that, because it's a passion project, you loved it, you put it out there for other people to love it, but again, not everybody is.
But I believe
honest.
I heard that you can only copyright the story, not the characters that you're using.
Right.
You trademark the
Yeah.
characters.
Like,
Yeah,
for
but-
example, if you use an original story and make it a fan fiction, fan flick, whatever, you use an original story. You use, for example, your Star Trek characters.
Right.
You can only copyright the story, not the characters that you're using. Because that right there, you're going to get in trouble.
Of course. Big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
But then how do you word that in a way that doesn't include the actual, because you're writing fanfic, which is of these characters. This is where that gray line comes into play. This is where the whole thing of protection of the creator, right? Like, even though, yes, it's a fanfic,
Okay.
yes, it's created by fans.
You write a
but-
story, right?
Yes.
You using
Star Trek. Yeah, because that's
Okay.
probably what I would have read. Yeah.
you using Star Trek. Then the story you wrote. That's yours.
Yes.
But the characters you're using aren't. That's where you could get in trouble. But as long as the original story is yours. So you understand what I'm saying?
No, I know. And then there's also the idea that if you post it, and this is where copywriting too, I know in that regard, that if it's posted and you could prove you wrote this before, you posted this before that person actually copyrighted or put the trademark on it, you have a time stamp that I did this first.
Yes.
Right? So that is also a legal thing in their favor, understandable. And there's so many different
It's
new
a legal thing, but it doesn't hold water in court.
in certain aspects.
Sometimes.
Certain aspects.
You know why?
In certain aspects.
Because the time that you posted up doesn't mean that I was not writing it long time ago. That's why copyright, when you do it under the U.S. government, that holds water.
No, I know, and then this is why someone once
You know
told
what
me,
I'm
like,
saying?
oh, if
You
you're
have to
writing
have-
something, even if you just started it, send it to
Or-
yourself in the post if you're not ready to finish it or whatever. At
That's
least you
a
have a
perma-
post
Say-
saying, I did this first.
I'm
Yeah.
starting
You
a
know,
book.
That's
exactly.
a
But
poor
either
man- That's
way,
called a poor man's copyright.
Right. A poor
whoever
man's
has the first date is considered the person who you have that proof that I did this first, right? I can go, man, if I even bring up the Omegaverse trial, like that whole thing was what got into it too. So like there's like a whole thing on that, which understandable, but it's just for me.
How long was that case?
Oh,
Years ago, right? Years. So we have arrived.
we'll talk about that another time because that was wild.
Here's an update. Wait. We got a low budget. This is
Breaking news.
And now it's coming in. Breaking news.
I want to smoke so
I
bad.
was checking my law book. They just changed the law and said, yes, an AI company can be sued for copyright infringement for any story that you have permission, and they gave no permission. Image, which is trademark, they can be sued for using the image no matter what. So
That's what's happening right now. There's been a lot of legal battles against AI for that reason, which is why.
But you just asked, how can you protect yourself?
I think
There
that.
you go.
Remember
Yeah.
when Hollywood
You
shut
have to
down?
get it trademark and copyright.
When Hollywood shut down because
yeah.
of the copyright, they were getting protection for using their image.
Right.
That's where it all came from.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's why they changed the AI laws.
That's why
Yeah.
I said, look, AI is a tool. And I'm going to say it honestly from a technology standpoint,
I just
it's
love
a
the fact that you're
wonderful
saying
tool
tool.
because it allows creation like the original CGI. You didn't have dinosaurs that looked live until CGI came in and
but
created
someone
it.
still put in the
you
work
didn't
for
have, you didn't have General Tarkin on Rogue One because he's dead.
Someone put in the work for
And
that.
somebody put in, they put in the work for that, but I'm talking about the tool
And they asked.
and what they did.
And then they asked exactly.
They had to have asked, but I'm talking about the tool. I said technology speaking only, not the legalities, not who asked, whatever. The tool itself functioned to
Can I
create things.
jump in real quick? Because now y'all jumping into my field. When you said AI created dinosaurs, you know that's called special effects. Everything that AI is doing now, everyone already did.
That's what I was
It's
just about to say
that
too,
the
bro.
AI does it quicker.
And
Yes.
better.
That's the
And better.
only-
But it's
I don't know
not
if it's
better. I was gonna say
little
not
bit
better,
better, a little
because
better.
it
AI
looks
with 6
janky
fingers.
as hell in certain things. It looks so janky in certain ones. It's just the
Some
idea
of
that
them be like
a
turkey.
lot of people will put in. Okay, and this I think the difference between someone who's just utilizing AI to circumvent actually putting in the work versus someone who's an artist utilizing AI to perfect their art. Someone who is perfecting their art is going to make the whatever, put in the prompt for the AI, and then go in and fix it and make sure it looks good and adjust it and keep going and make sure it fits. Someone who's just utilizing it to cut corners or just to mess over somebody else is just gonna put in a prompt and leave it at B, and that's it. I made that. Look what I made. No, you didn't.
But remember,
no, you did not. What did you
Like
do?
CGI is the work involved.
Right.
That's the work. That's why it takes like almost a year or two to bring the special effects to life. AI goes
Does it
further because when you then type in character, when you type in what you want it to do, you're not spending hours at an end because it's programmed to do that based on its based on
still
whatever
but is
database it has.
and that's what I'm
still gotta
saying.
fix it.
An artist
You
will
still have
go
to fix
in
it.
and
This is
fix
true.
it. But someone who's not an artist, who's trying to call themselves an
I'm a
artist,
Photoshop
is
guy. That's
just
what I'm
gonna
doing right now.
is just gonna put an a prompt.
I put my own pictures. I got to cut around myself.
Exactly. You have to put in the work. And that's what I'm
Right.
saying. AI is not bad in that intention if you're putting in the work as an artist. You're making sure that your art has some type of form to it. When someone just puts a prompt in and then says, I made art, no, you didn't. You typed in a couple of words, you put it in there, and it made it for you. You didn't put in the work, you didn't put in the effort, you didn't even take the time to read. Do you know how many times people have made fanfics from AI, posted it on AO3, and it got caught out as AI because someone started reading it and realized like there's stuff that's here that's weird, it's janky, that like the writing is wrong. The person didn't even read, and there was one that they left the prompt in.
missing a
Like
comma.
an idiot, and then tried to say, oh, it took me 3 years to write this, and it literally the AI prompt was writing the so it's like, no, you did not. Don't sit here and call yourself an
There's-
artist if you're
So
not
now we
putting
got
in
the
the
bad
work.
things about AI.
There's,
That's the
pu-
good thing.
there's, there's publishers that are actually, when you submit, they're telling you, please do not submit any
Yes.
AI.
Yes.
Yes.
Because you didn't, like, and that's the thing with it. Like there are goods to it,
I
but for
noticed
me,
that with Barnes and Nobles when,
Yeah.
when they took my book, they said we like it and we can tell it's not AI. I'm like,
Yeah.
I didn't understand what was going on
Yeah.
until weeks later, months later, I started seeing that they've been saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
It-
taken.
it
This
hurts,
technology
man.
is taken by storm by people
Right.
completely. There's no argument about
Now,
that.
is it the lazy people or the stupid ones that couldn't do
It's the
nothing?
lazy ones because they're the ones who are sharing the videos going, oh my God, look at this leak. It's not a leak, it's an AI video. Please do
Right.
your work. Please look into it. And this is why like AI, I understand it and I see the ability that it could bring to artists to cut little corners, but then to still put in the work. But the people who are making the most out of it right now are the people who are not.
What
who
about
don't
if they
care.
change the words what if?
It's
Instead of
still-
fandom.
Well, what if
But
belongs-
that's-
all fandom
that belongs
is a
to
what
Marvel.
if.
Well, what if is not trademarked? The
No,
word what if
I
is
know,
not
but
trademarked.
all fandom
See?
Well-
is what if scenarios
But I'm
or
saying, why
alternate.
if
That's
they
all it
change
is.
it, because no matter what, some of them don't put
But
fan
because
fiction
it's it's made by a fan. That's where it is. It's fandom. It's not made by a writer who decided I'm going to write this. Like then that becomes like probably paid to do so by the company to create a storyline in it.
But if
A
you write it,
fan.
ain't you a writer?
If you're a fan, you put in the work as a writer. You made this for fun. You did this for the love of the game. You didn't do this for any other reason than you love these characters and you wanted to see an alternate universe, or you wanted to see a crack fic, or you want to see some hurt comfort, or you just want comfort. Like
if?
there's so many things. But it is a
Well-
what if scenario. But fan made is where it comes into fan fiction. It is not a fiction that was made for something
to me,
else.
I think they should get sued if they do not write fan fiction.
But yes, they do put that. Archive of Our Own, AO3, also known as that. Now you guys don't know. Archive of Our Own is like the biggest fan fiction website. Before that was fanfiction.net. And then they had GeoSites. We had LiveJournal. Like all these places that people, and they always started the same way. I do not own these characters. I do not own this, whatever. I'm just here playing in their sandbox. This is an alternate universe or whatever. They always say the same thing, right? So all fanfic rides in that. And so Archive of Our Own too. The moment you come into the website, it says here, these are fan-made works. If it's an original work, it is listed as an original work, which people do post original works on. You could post fanfics, you could post fan vids, you could post fan films, you could post podfics, which is someone reading your fanfic as an audiobook for you. So there's art you can post on there, so there's different levels to that website, but it's all fan made. And the original works that are on there are generally usually locked under you have to be a part of the community to see it.
Fan films, they say it themselves. They do write that this is copyrighted by this company. Because the people, the Star Trek copyright places, people, and whatever are part of this universe. While they're creating their own storyline based on that universe, but it still says this is copyrighted by CBS or right now it would say Paramount by copyright, because one particular fan film went against CBS. And that created a lawsuit, which then created a whole new set of rules that everyone that does a fan film now, whether it's Star Trek related or not, have to adhere to, because after what happened with Star Trek, everyone else is saying, well, we don't want to cross that line and say George Lucas come after us. They don't want to cross that line and say whoever the creators of Stargate come after us. Whatever the big name involved that you're doing a tribute to, and even if it's not even using characters in the universe itself, they're creating their own original characters, it still has to follolo the baseline.
I think that's just
of
Star
what?
Trek, though. I think that's just Star Trek.
No,
because
I've seen
there's
a couple of
not-
Star Wars.
Star
ones
Wars does it too.
that does it too.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look it up because like I'm thinking about it now. I'm like,
And
I've
even-
seen fan films that are longer, but for other fandoms because they don't have those rules. But that's a whole other thing too. Like,
But Bat in the Sun, when they did some of their stuff, originally speaking, they also put that trademark to let them know that these are not our characters. This is part of DC.
They're
They're part of
fan-made.
Marvel. This is a fan-made story. You know, again, they're still using their characters, but they're doing it in a very different way. But a lot of the other stuff which I saw, which was original storylines that had nothing to do with Luke, Vader, anyone, those were original stories, but they're doing it in their universe. And if they're doing it in your universe, you got to follow the rules of that universe.
no, you don't. Not in fan fiction. In fan fiction, you do whatever you want.
But if
That's
you're creating
the
it in the
thing.
film, they have to put that down. They're trying to
It's
create from that.
not all. No, fandom does not regard any of that. Fandom is just, hey, this is the blueprint. Everything else is on us. We don't care. Like that's the beauty
But I
of
just
fandom.
said the blueprint. The blueprint depicts how you're going to tell your story. If you're going to tell a Jedi story, You're going to tell a Jedi story. But the Jedi, you know, if you're going to create something different about the Jedi, well, then it is your own character. You can create something from it, but it still has to follow some sort of blueprint that was already established.
Fan fiction is no. That's the whole thing about fandom and fan creator works. That there is no rules at all. Just, hey, you love the characters, you love the world, write in it. Create whatever you want. That's 90% of the time is to fix something or change something that they viewed as dumb to the original canon.
Yeah.
That's 90% of where fan fiction lies.
And we'll
Be right back with more
of this
Rican.
interesting topic.
Come, let's play. LDM Radio. Come, let's play. Fun is what we crave.
Let's go.
You're listening to New York City's LDM Radio. Another long stretch of continuous music.
Back into time. Flashback.
Make my move, gonna live my dream, gonna live my
New York City's LDM Radio.
The best radio station in the world is right here, right now.
We're back.
I'm a
More
hateful
Ricans
person.
here.
I'm the spawn of Satan, okay?
As you heard,
I said
that's
the
the
wrong
spawn of
thing, though.
Satan.
You're afraid of opening.
Has Lou and I'm Mo.
You're afraid to open? It's my
No.
fault.
We're
My
on.
fault. Oh, sorry.
Things happen. What can I say? So,
Yeah, but it's always me and Zam. That's not cool.
It's because we're the deviants, that's why.
we ran the subject, but as I said before in the very beginning, like any new tool, technological tool that comes on the scene, it's going to have its best points and it's going to have its worst points about it. You know, from the time of AOL and chatting was involved, all you had was just words on the screen, and now that evolved also into FaceTiming one another or camming one another, to the point where now you could just talk and type, and then you don't have to worry about whatever. Just say what you say. But the sad part about it is that you don't know who's on the other side. Back in the days, you didn't have a face. So you don't know
AI
who you're
made
talking to.
catfishing a whole different level. I'm not gonna lie.
Let me ask you.
Exactly.
This question.
So every good thing has a bad thing with it, and you're right about that. It made catfishing a whole lot different and dangerous, to say the least.
I have a question, Charles. Maybe you can get involved in this. I like typing. I like hearing the clicking sound.
Oh,
Right?
Yeah.
I
But
miss my
then
keyboard.
I like to use the tablet now, my iPad, and I could get away with typing on that, but I don't like it. It's too silent, even if you raise the volume. But now I can talk into it, and it makes it so much easier. But it makes me feel uncomfortable.
I have a problem with that.
Yeah, me
Because
too.
my voice to speech, for some reason, when I say certain words, it doesn't register properly. So like, I'll do like a whole.
You got a Latin New York accent.
I'll
That's
have like
why.
a whole like
probably
thing
what
that
it
I'll
is.
write down, or I'm speaking to like the thing to put down the voice to text, and realize like half of it is not even correct. I'm like, what did I actually say originally? And then I forget what I was trying to put down, and that messes me up.
It's probably because you talk fast.
Not
Well,
only that,
you,
it's a good thing that
You
said
do.
that.
I do.
You do talk
That's
fast.
ADHD. So
Well, it's a good thing that you said that. If you remember when you were in school, we had the recorders.
oh God.
Yes.
And I remember when I did cases, I used to use the recorder and just talk on the recorder. So when I go home, I could remember what I thought about. I used it for the book. Like I was like, oh wait, it just dawned on me. The guy ran through this thing, and I used a recorder. So now that they have that written thing, I use it. But yeah, I have to go back and be like, yo, it messed up the words I said.
wait, so
you know what I mean?
you think in novel format?
Yeah.
I think in script format.
Yeah,
That's
no,
why it
like,
messes me up.
I'll read it because it's called text and speak.
Yes.
So, you
Yeah.
you speak it and it'll text it for you. But yeah, without accent, sometimes it just.
Yeah.
I didn't say that. Even with the phone, sometimes.
Have you tried it with a British accent? Have you tried it with a British accent? It gets every word when you do it in a British accent, though.
Really?
I've done it, yeah, because I did it the one time just to see. Someone
Yeah.
had mentioned it, and I was like, let me see. He's like, and the boy jumps over them, and I'm like, perfectly. I'm like, yo, I hate this.
So
I
English
hate
is
this.
British English, not American
original
English.
Well, the original English. Well,
Yeah,
technically
original
not
English,
original
that's
English,
why.
but part of the
The
original
recorder-
English.
The recorder I have, you can actually plug it in, and it'll transfer everything over.
Yeah.
It's not perfectly translated. You still
Like, I
have to
have- I have the,
proofread and make
audio.
sure.
So when if I do the audio, like that's why I carry the mic around and I do the audio. I put it in and I put it into my program. It types. It takes that audio and it types it for you, so you don't have to really do it. But you still got to go in and put
Yeah,
the
you gotta-
paragraph, the
yeah.
commas, and
You
all
gotta
that.
break it down, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But at least we'll have the typing. And again, for something like that, it's good that you're doing it because it's helping you.
Yeah. But
But if you're doing it to hurt someone or to get further advantage, then I don't think that's
It's
right.
upside and it's downside.
Downside.
Every piece of technology that
Yeah.
comes out has those two
But
things.
but people who generally are experiencing the downside are the people who you would think should not be experiencing it because they're not participating in it or they're not actively going into that. They're the ones experiencing the dark side of it because like they put in the work, but then they're experiencing the dark side because someone who decided to do AI is screwing them over now.
like the three,
So yeah, like,
Again,
it's
that's what I said. We don't know who is behind what. If that takes, when it comes to the internet, sometimes it's pretty much you're dealing with a ghost, unless of course, with
The ghost in the
technology.
shell.
No, well, yeah, something like that. But at the
love
same
that
time,
one.
technology, as far as the
Yes, I
FBI is
love that
concerned, they have the sniffer, and they use that to find out the IP
comics is
address.
pretty good, too.
No matter how many times they
still
route
have
it
the
one
little-
way or
the
another.
figurines,
That
the-
takes
the
forever.
Tachikomas. I have a whole bunch of them.
With that being said, AI it only became popular because social media.
Of course.
And the reason why I say that is because you want to get your contents out before someone else does.
see,
Of
I like,
course.
I like,
So
I
that's
like,
why AI is becoming
Yeah.
more popular.
Again,
So-
stating back for the lazy people who don't want to do the work entailed. Because again, as I said, as a definition, it is a passion project. You're here to pay homage
But that's
to
why I
them,
don't
and then
include AI in
but
that.
somebody else is looking at it as
Because
like,
it's not okay. But that's why just what you said. That's why I don't include AI in that because it was not a fan who was passionate. It was a
Breathe.
fan who was bored and just wanted to capitalize. Or and this is why I say if AI is a
Doing
very
it in the
tricky
British
thing.
accent. No.
Or you
I
would
don't
do
Very,
that?
understand
it's
you.
very tricky. Okay, I'm just saying that right now. No, it's okay. So why I asked you when you first were telling me you're like, oh, I'm listening to this, and I realized you were listening to fan fiction, and I pulled up the thing. I was just like, oh, damn, this sucks. Like, where's the link to the original story? Where's the link that I can go and read this? What if I didn't want to listen to a podfic? Podfics still weird me out, okay, bro? Like, I don't like them.
See?
I want to read my fanfic. I want to experience that in a different way. That's why I was like, where's the link to that? That's why I was questioning it as an AI because it could have been someone, or it could have been someone who took someone's fanfic, did that, put it into the voiceover, and now someone's fanfic is on their page as if it's their own, and it's not. And that's not fair to the writer. You know, you're not giving them the original kudos that they wrote the story. They took the time. They thought it out. And all you did was put it through an algorithm to read it out and find photos for an AI saying, hey, put Superman in a scene with Picard.
okay, well, let's put it like this.
How is that an actual fan-made thing?
Let's put it like this. Let's use, for example, Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Okay.
Beautiful book.
Yes.
Very.
Fantastic.
I'm a bigger fan of The Hobbit, but okay.
The Hobbit is a beautiful book too.
Yes, it
That's
is.
the first book I ever read that I went, whoa.
Mm.
Okay, so now a director takes it, puts his version into the story.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? Is that considered fan fiction?
I mean, yeah, technically, I consider. And have I not multiple times said that Stranger Worlds is just weird fan fiction because it doesn't like it? There's things that are not canon, things that are fanon in it, things that I'm like, even I watch and I'm like, yo, that's fanficky. Like that is so fanficky. I can't even right now, which is fine. I love it. I
better
studied it
yet.
up, but it is a fanfic. It's not the original work. So like. Reading as
like that.
using
You got me
utilizing
thinking.
utilizing Lord of the Rings, right? Anything that's an adaptation of an original made property. If
See,
it's not
you used it.
You used
the
that's what I was
word.
waiting for,
Right.
that word.
Adaption.
an adaptation, yeah.
Right. So that's like we use now AI, but it's just means an adaptation.
Not all the time. An adaptation is someone who still is a
90%
person.
of the time it
but,
is.
But
Oh,
adapt. But
adaptation has
wait,
to do with anything physical as a person.
for what?
Adaptation.
When you're adapting a book to screen or you're
Yeah,
taking
you
something
took
like that,
a book.
it's still a person who sits down and hopefully
It doesn't
someone
say a
who
person
knows
that
the
takes
works.
It says you take, an AI takes.
Yeah, but an
person
AI,
takes.
yeah, but an AI is not gonna give due where it's due. Someone who took an AI version of like their Lord of the Rings is not gonna say like I was inspired by Lord of the Rings or I got this as an adaptation for Lord. No. They're just gonna put it out as whatever their story is. But I created this. What do you mean? You're crazy for seeing
And they switched it.
anything similar to
What do you
Lord of
do
the
create?
Rings.
Don't you have to type in what you want? First?
Not all the time.
You have to
You
type
can't
in.
just say.
Not
Yeah.
all the time. Not all the time.
You
The
know.
prompts are very different from the video. Those prompts. It's a very different type of experience. That's why I said fan creation works. If it's AI, I don't like. I can't. You didn't. It's not a fan. No fan made that. It's a prompt, very like the littlest prompt you can do, and
Okay,
it'll
so-
scour the internet
So what's the
and steal
difference-
something from someone to give it
What's the
to you.
difference between someone making an AI and someone like me that does special effects on a computer and put pieces together, which is
You're an artist.
But
What I
AI is
said, what
doing
I
the same
said,
thing I'm doing,
what I
so
said
it's-
earlier is that an artist who is utilizing AI to continue their art is not going to sit here, put a prompt in, and leave it as is. You're going to go in and make sure that it's fitting how you want it. You're going to watch it. You're going to scrutinize. You're going to make it so it's becoming a part of your art, and it's just an additional tool that you're utilizing.
But you do that
Whereas
same thing with AI, right?
someone who is not an artist, like I said earlier, is just going to put in the prompt. They're not even gonna watch the whole thing. They're gonna be like,
For example-
done. Put that shit out there.
For
Oops,
example,
sorry.
I've listened to 2 hours worth of one of these fake works.
Wait, send me the
We'll
link.
call them fake works for now, but
not.
the one that I liked was
I don't support it.
where they
better
show
send it.
what if Optimus Prime entered the Star Trek universe.
He has. I'll send you
So when I
AOC.
listened to
You know
it,
what? I'm gonna look to see if
it
it's
carried all the elements of both the characters. Jean-Luc Picard, the idea that Optimus Prime has come into our universe. Optimus Prime, who he is as an Autobot, as a fearless leader, as a warrior. And then the elements that came in to follow after, the whole idea of the Prime Directive, which it made so much sense. It sounded like a Star Trek episode through and through, and being one that has seen it since I was 9 years old, hearing the whole thing and just the story of how they showed how Optimus Prime, against all odds too, supported and defended the Federation and made friends of both Data, Worf, Captain Picard, the whole crew. Instantly, within the first 2 hours or the first 5 minutes of him coming on board, the Borg showed up. And so they were battling the
Well,
Borg, because the Borg wanted to assimilate him, because they found out that he came in from a wormhole or whatever it was called, that it ripped open the doorway, he came in. All of a sudden, Powers already noticed in the sector that he came about.
So how did that come about? How
It
did
came about because the
someone
story
wrote
always...
it,
or
or did they just look at an AI and the AI said, "Let me do it"?
Well,
I'm gonna find it a
You still
little
have to
bit.
pump it in,
I'm gonna.
right?
You
This
still
is
have
what I'm trying to say.
put it
This
in.
is what I'm saying, that the prompts when it comes to that are usually stolen from original work or already made fan works, right? So someone was like, oh, I want a fanfic where Superman ends up in this world, Star Trek related, They're not going into details. That's all they're putting
So
in.
name me
And then they're
one
gonna
movie
find
that's
a
out now
thing.
that's original.
There's not that many.
Exactly. You see what I'm trying to say? So the
Yeah.
person that's putting
But there's
it
a
in
difference
is
between
still not
there's a difference between an inspired person,
Right.
versus a computer that is literally just cataloging and then
here's-
copying.
here's
It's
something.
That's a
a tool.
difference. That's not the same thing.
Is
It's
it
not the
AI?
same
Being
thing.
used.
Is it AI when in Star Trek, and it was proven in one of the Borg scenes in the movie, you could see the Millennium Falcon flying off?
Yeah.
Is it fan fiction when in
Strange New Worlds. they
Star
have
Trek? No.
The TARDIS in one episode.
That's a crossover.
In Star Trek, you also had in a movie also like a droid, an R2 unit.
Yes.
Yes.
So what's the difference? I
Those-
mean, you're
That's what I'm
using
saying.
you're using characters from another universe. And
Yeah,
you're
but
just
those
putting
are
it together.
Star Wars,
those are
if you
those
think
are
about it.
are
Star Wars,
Easter eggs.
R2D2 and all of these.
Those are
they
Easter
robots, but
eggs.
They AI type of robots.
No, but they're
right?
okay, but they're Easter eggs in movies that are being made by production companies, so the people who have access to it are getting permission to utilize them. That's the difference. It's not a fan who just was like, "Hey, I'm gonna rate this, whatever." That's again, it's two completely different things. It's not
I'm
the
sorry.
same.
I'm
Is it
sorry.
really?
But a lot of
For-
Star Trek writers
Are fans.
are
Fans,
fans.
yeah,
That's what
but
I'm
they're
saying. So
writers.
is it really?
But
Yeah.
are there?
But they are fans.
But they're writers, right? They're fans, but they
I
created
think
their
it's two
art.
different things for me. I gotta be a fan of what I write for me to write because that's why it makes
Yeah,
it
you got.
Well, yeah, that's why fanfic writers write fanfic because they're so passionate about the storyline or something that was done incorrectly that they saw as incorrect and wanted to fix it or change it or think
Listen,
that it
if
should have
it-
developed differently. Yeah, you have to be passionate about
The
it.
way I see it, if a fanfic author wrote something and did something, and it's so good,
And there's so many.
then take it and be original. And
But that's what a lot of them do.
your stuff.
But the thing, okay, first of
I
all,
know
the
what the
reason
AI is.
why a lot of them don't do that is because one, they're not confident. Two, they're moms, dads, they're working regular jobs. That's their fun. They don't want to do it professionally. That's their fun. But it hurts their soul to know that something that they put their blood, sweat, and tears, years, decades. There's people writing fanfics for decades just for an AI prompt by someone who took 2 seconds to write it in, to scour it, cut it up, and put it out, and then that person to go like, I made this.
But it
No,
was
you
a fan.
didn't.
Wait, but it was a fanfic first,
Yes.
and then an AI came and took it.
Yes.
So then who took it? So then who took it first? Because if the fanfic,
That's that Chris
Yeah.
Columbus coming, right?
yeah, if the fanfic is made and you're using characters from other universes, right?
Yeah,
Let's
it's
say
a
Star
fanfic,
Trek.
yeah.
It's a fanfic.
Yeah.
Now the AI comes and makes it that much
Takes
better.
your fanfic.
And makes
No,
it.
there's no AI fanfics that are good.
Okay.
None that are
But
good.
there are.
No,
there
but
are.
And how many times have I been watching your stuff and been like, oh, this is not real, this is not whatever. We had a whole
they
fight
took-
about the
We're
whole
talking
blade in the Star Wars universe. Don't even start me on this. Like,
No, but
no.
he's saying they took.
Yeah, they took. They
That's
took.
like you stole it and then Robin Hood steals it from you.
But the thing, either at the end of the day, it's still a person who did it. It wasn't a computer algorithm. It wasn't something that literally just copied from a real person. Because that's what it is at the end of the day. It is still a real person who started the first thing and inspired other people to make their own things. But then the AI comes
It's-
in and
it's-
just copies it. That's not a
Who-
person.
who
No
did
one
the- who
actually
did the
did it.
It's a real person that
Who did the videos?
it's a real person that typed it in and said, "Find this."
But that you're not
Exactly.
creating. But
But
that's
who-
not art. That's
On the
not. You didn't
original
put
fanfic,
effort.
Or the fan flick or the fan film.
Original fan film. Be
No, but the
specific.
original one, right? That the first person that did a fan thing, right?
Star
Let's say-
Trek.
Star
let's say-
Trek.
No, anything,
Yes,
right? They
Star
did-
Trek is the okay. This is why I said as a fan
Okay.
person, Star Trek is
Breathe.
the origins
Listen,
of fan.
listen,
Hold
listen.
on. Listen.
Breathe.
All right.
That person took it, type it in. Who did the art? Who did the video?
What are you talking about? This is
The videos.
in the
of the-
'60s. That wasn't a thing.
No,
So,
no.
Who
Now.
did the videos now?
now fandom.
Now,
Before AI, fandom films or fandom whatever
A
you want to
fan will go through and and take all the videos from whatever the movies or whatever and edit their own fan vids. Or,
So then you
or
took it.
fan
So then
film.
that person,
took it.
they took it from.
Okay, but that's where the fan thing part comes in. They're
Okay.
not taking it and going, I just created something new and I'm going to put it out there and act like it's a whole
But they
brand new
did.
thing. No, they're saying this is a fanfic. This is a fan vid. This is an AMV.
There's
this
a video.
is this. They're acknowledging it's fan made,
They-
connected to the original fan product. They're not saying it's an original work of their own. I don't understand where you guys are coming
There's
from.
a Star Wars, and it's fan, I guess something, whatever the hell, where Obi-Wan and Darth Vader are fighting, and I'm sure you've seen it.
Yeah.
And they extended it. They actually showed behind the scenes how Darth Vader and Obi-Wan are going at it,
Yes.
throwing swords.
That
They
whole scene
are
from,
going
A
at
New Hope.
that.
So what?
It's so good that they're trying to convince them to make it canon
Canon.
and put it into the
Yeah.
Star Wars things.
Okay.
So
It's still fan made.
it's
Well,
fan
It
made.
began as fan made.
Yes.
And is being pushed so that way LucasArts can add it to
Then
the original
I
film.
don't agree with that. Look, that's where the whole thing with fandom is. Okay, look. I understand seeing something so cool and being like, oh damn, this should be a part of canon. Like, and that's where fanon comes from. Fan canon, not canon from the actual
so
fan
just take
canon,
the
right?
original
Wait,
thieves.
wait.
The original thieves. There we go.
I don't,
Robin Hoods.
because
The Robin
I'm trying to understand what you guys are saying about. In that regard, okay, cool. I've seen a lot of fan things that like wish I was canon, but I'm not gonna sit here and be like, the company should make it canon. That starts crossing the line of certain things. Fandom should be for fans.
The newest
Fandom.
thing-
So the
It is a
fandom-
kingdom of fans
So-
together.
Okay,
So the fandom that took the idea from Marvel, let's say, I took Superman and I want to make my own fan film.
Okay.
So where's the original part? You just said
Okay, but
being
that
original.
but we're
So I
talking.
stole their idea to do what I said, and now I'm gonna say that.
But that's
this is
not
my
the
original
same
thought.
as AI. An AI is just an algorithm going
Who
through
wrote
it.
the algorithm?
There's so many people who've attacked it, but at the end of the day,
Fans.
no, it's
People-
not.
no.
Not AI.
Wait.
AI
you
is not
have to do-
created by fans.
No, no.
Hold on, my ear. Thank you.
AI,
Yeah.
for you to write the code, you have to know about it. Right?
Yeah, and a lot of fans
So
don't
if-
participate in that. So fans are not making those
You know
AI
every fan?
prompts.
I love how people say they know everybody.
So fans.
I
if
didn't say
they don't-
everybody. I said
if
that
they don't
not all
participate-
fans are participating in that.
But a person has to write it.
Yes, understood, but they're not writing like a detailed prompt to the point where yes, it's their story. No, they're just putting a little 2-3 sentences, and this is how people have found out about this. And it's not being that they're creating their own story; it's just being scrapped from somebody else, a person who really did put in the work, whether it's
newest-
fan or not. A person still put in the work; they still created. It's like okay, if I create an
I
art
think-
piece
you know what it
and
is?
someone's inspired by
I
my
gotta
art
sit
piece
down
to create
with
another
you.
art piece.
I gotta sit down with you and go into one of my AI things, and then you're gonna be like, "Oh, wait a minute, I had to put in the work."
Yeah, for the videos, but for the writing, it's not that. It's not
Even
that.
for the writing, you have to. You know what the problem
No
is?
one
Have you
is
seen-
doing the level that you're doing for videos in writing. Nobody.
But I think what it is, you're watching the ones that just type and then they put it out. They didn't really read everything, so that's how you know it's fake.
Yeah,
And
but that's what they're doing. A lot of them are doing that.
Right,
And
in
then
that
you've got the
case, yeah.
ones, this is why when he was doing watching the video, I was like, oh, where's the link to the original fanfic? Because usually they'd be like, oh, it's hosted on Archive of Our
See, but
Own,
you
it's
keep saying
hosted on this.
original. It's not an original. if you
No,
took it from
I'm not
someone
in
else.
the original. Okay, look, original. I don't understand.
Yeah.
I mean, like the link. Like a person went on Archive of Our Own, posted a fanfic. They finished whatever. It's there in its entirety. You can go and find it, read it, and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then someone decided, hey, I want to make a YouTube video of this. So they took the fanfic, they put it in a text to speech, so that way it's being read out. And they made the AI composite photos to put into this as it's whatever. But they don't
That sounds
include.
like a lot of work.
But then they don't include the link to the original fanfic, so they can claim it as their own.
But the fanfic
But
can't claim it as its own.
I know.
So how can I claim him
know, but the
if he's
thing
not-
is
Yeah,
that there
how
are
can I claim
fans.
something that isn't even mine?
It's not even that fan.
I know what you mean by that, but at the end of the day, someone still created that story. It doesn't matter if you didn't do it or not. If I stole that story from somebody, I'm still stealing from somebody, whether or not it's real.
I stole it from the same person that stole it.
Whatever.
So who's the thief?
At the end of the day, it's technology, and again, it has its good points and it has its bad points. And you never can tell. It always depends on the person itself. If they're honest, which I think when I'm looking and hearing about this, honesty is what's lost. If you're stealing a work from someone, you're not being honest about what you put out. Whether you did it by generating it through an AI or that you hand wrote it yourself, plagiarizing someone else, because there have been many speeches that have been done by presidents and politicians, and they have plagiarized so many people. Even our current president
Trump
has
is
plagiarized so many people.
Trump is
now,
good for
is that dishonest? Is that stealing? We never know, but at the same time, the tool that's being used, it's not, to me, I always say it's not the tool. It's the person behind the tool. The honesty that comes from it, the integrity of putting something out there that's yours and original. Because I said in the very beginning, as far as the definitions are concerned, it's made by a fan who's showing tribute, who's showing homage to this universe that they beloved. Now, how they do it and when it comes out, there you have it.
I've seen. We'll be right back after these messages.
Hi, I am Charles Laloma, and I am the owner of the LDM Network, and I hope that you're enjoying this episode. But if you want to see past episodes of this show or any other of our shows, go to the ldmnetwork.net. We have large contents of different type of shows, and we even have podcasts. So again, check them out at ldmnetwork.net. So without further ado, let's get back to this.
Welcome back from the commercial break, where we left off with you with me.
I said at the end of the day, when it comes to technology, it has its good points and its bad points. But it's not the technology; it's the person using the technology.
Okay. Do you feel? I mean, I've known you. You had to see it already. If not you, Sam. Game of Thrones. Ever since the rumor started that
Song
it's
of
coming
Ice and
back,
Fire.
did you see where the dragon comes, picks her up, takes her to a cave to revive her? You seen that video?
The fan video, I heard of it. I didn't
Yes.
watch it because again, that the last 3 seasons are not really canon anyhow. So, or as canon as can be. So,
But I
it
feel
became
that
a
if
blur because it was great until about that 3rd season, and after that, you're going, what?
yeah, but I feel that if they're gonna do that, that would be a great thing to do right there. It's done so well that that's a possibility.
Truth be told, and I'll say it like this, and I know I'll either get ranked for it or whatever. Fans have, how can I say, the feel of the pulse and the heartbeat of the actual genre itself that you're talking about, whether it's Game of Thrones, Star Trek, Star Wars, or whatever. Fans do. Fans know more, in some instances, than the people who fragging created it to begin with.
Yeah.
Okay, let's be honest here. I have a nephew who's writing right now an audio Trek, Star Wars book. Great stuff. I love where he's going with this. And I told him, look, when you're done with this and you're going to put it together or whatever, you coming here first. You're coming here. You're going to tell the world about this book. I want it done here first because it is that good, bro. That good. She heard a couple of pieces of it. I got episode 8 and 9. I'm ready to hear what left because he's practicing now, as you said, doing the work to learn how to write lightsaber duels. So when he learns it, that's all I got to say, like she would say. That's how good it will be. But again, as I was saying before, the person using the technology, now he's doing it in the right way doing the work. As like she said before, and I said that it's about honesty. When you look at it, it is really about honesty in his fandom world of fan films, fan writings, whatever. It's all about honesty because, yeah, there is a truth to the fact that people are going to plagiarize you. Presidents do it, politicians do it all the time. But unfortunately, there's no real legal action that you can take. If you're going to take something that you love and you put together, once it's out of your hands, it's out of your hands. Mm-hmm. Who takes it and does something with it, well, that's the part that we have to just go,
or you could just pull an Anne Rice and scare everybody out of posting it until you die.
Do that too.
So,
Say if you take my works, I curse you
Scare
with
them.
lifelong diarrhea.
Scare
and
them
that's
to
it.
the point where they don't post anything, and then the
Like he
day
said,
she
you
died, yo,
didn't bring
AO3.
up, politicians. How many people made something to help the people, and the government used it as a weapon? You understand?
That's just
So it's the same thing with the AI. AI is supposed to help you, but people are using it as a weapon.
Yeah.
So it's been going on since generations, and nobody knows how to stop it. And
every
as long
piece
as-
of technology does
I just
that.
feel like now, I think and I think this goes back into the conversation we're having of the death of theater, where people were afraid about the whole Netflix
Right.
thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that should be what people are fearing of because it'll survive, but the death of theater will be AI. The death of media, the death of entertainment will be AI.
Yes.
And I don't think a lot of people realize how terrifying that is. And it's not just a matter of like, well, yeah, people will still have work or whatever. Like, no, like you there's so much that's going to be just uprooted or lost for
A
that.
lot of companies are using the AI now because, like, I have one program that I can put my face, use my voice, and I say a couple words. Now I don't have to do nothing no more. I don't even have to go to the studio. I just type in what I want my person
What was
to
that
say.
movie we watched where they had everybody repeat the same 13 words and then they put it into the algorithm to create AI videos?
Right.
What was that movie we were watching with, what's her name? She was at it was at some, is it C3 or whatever, the E4 or something?
Yes,
They were,
and they were using
Viola Davis is in the movie. I believe,
video
yeah.
because they used video and then they put her through AI.
She was the president, yeah.
As the president, and she's saying these things, and she's in another location seeing herself say, that's not real.
Yeah.
Again,
That's what
the
it-
part where it's dangerous when
That's
someone
the part.
utilizes it in a way that it shouldn't be used, but unfortunately, it's made for that.
But that's where Hollywood did that thing.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why Hollywood fought because,
It-
hey,
it goes
actors
I don't
are
know.
actors no matter what.
I don't know if you guys ever watched it. Upload.
Upload. Why is that
Upload
movie
was
so-
on, I think it's on Paramount.
Never heard of it.
Paramount? No. On Amazon Prime. Upload is a basic thing where if you're gonna die, they
Oh,
upload
yes.
your subconscious into a computer and you can live there, right?
That's like
That's just putting AI about you, your
Right.
life. Someone typed it in, and now people actually think that that person's really alive. But to me, I'm like, that's just an AI person.
Right.
So it's another world. So when they can get your subconscious or your soul back into another body, they're gonna do it.
There was an episode of Black Mirror
But
like
they finding
that.
out
It
that
was
they
so
could
good,
never do
though.
it. And then they finding out that the person that's talking on the screen is not really that person. It's a AI of, but people
Well,
paying money thinking that they're
It's like
families alive.
cryogenics back in the 60s and 50s when people.
Oh
were
yeah, when they were
Freezing
freezing
themselves.
themselves, thinking they could come back.
Like in the future, yes.
They came back all right.
And to coin off of what she was saying before about the whole death of theater,
Yeah.
I'm reminded because I remember the Blade Runner.
Ah.
There's a scene that pretty much depicts what our future could look like. When he walked into his apartment, he had the one giant screen and then news over here and whatever choices of what he wanted to watch or whatever here that he can make larger on the screen. That everything was pipelined into the screen.
Wasn't that scene inspired by, what was it, Fahrenheit 451? The concept, because
yeah.
all that's again another inspiration. I think is the most flattering thing because you, as a person, inspired someone to create something else.
But isn't
and then
that
from
AI?
that one thing, it's
that
no,
AI?
because AI could not be inspired. AI can only copy. Can only copy. A person who's inspired is going to take that idea, but
And
still
copy.
create something different from it.
But they copied
Right.
it.
Still called
Not
copy.
100%. That was inspired by because it wasn't 100% copied.
Actually,
What does
to-
the word inspire mean?
Copy.
No.
Read it. Expire means
Look it up.
something that someone else does that admires you to do it, which is copying it. That's
Look
what
it
I-
up.
It's the same thing as Muse.
But
Something that
copying
you're-
is literally not
doing
changing
the same
anything.
thing, an inspiration
Copying is
from a
just
muse.
copying and making it. When you're inspired, you take it, you're still making it to something else.
Yeah,
That's the
called
difference.
challenge.
That's the difference.
That's called the TikTok challenge.
But a lot of people will not even read Fahrenheit 451 and or watch the original Fahrenheit 451 because the original movie didn't have the special effects to do that. It was more conceptualized. But the books themselves, like just watching the Animal Farm trailer, immediately
Yeah.
knowing one, it was made by Angel Studios, I'm already like upset. Two, the moment I saw the trailer, I was like, this is not Animal Farm. They're not going to make the same Animal Farm book that I grew up and loved with, that broke my heart and shattered my perception of the government and of all these institutions around me. It's not going to be. They're not going to do that.
Star Wars was inspired.
Star Wars was
Star Trek. Yes, no, Star Wars.
inspired by
was-
Star Trek.
No, was inspired by the Lord of the Rings.
I could.
George Lucas said it.
I could see it.
So is that not the same thing?
Ain't Star Galactica?
Battlestar Galactica.
Came out after. So ain't it?
Also
Is it stealing
inspired.
or copying?
Hey,
Your
I said
idea.
the other
Well, they
day
got
that
sued.
I said the other
Oh, they
day.
did?
Oh no, Battlestar Galactica. That's come they shut down
Oh.
because George Lucas sued them because of the ships they used.
Yeah,
and
because
the,
it was similar.
and the
Similar.
formation and everything was exactly the
same,
same
yeah.
as Star Wars: A New Hope.
Yeah, it was still similar. But
And
again,
if you look at the
inspiring.
new version,
94,
They
94
changed
one.
a lot of
they
the.
a lot of the ships are now Battlestar Galactica ships.
Yeah.
But
Well, they did make the Galactica different from the other ones. Like Pegasus was an upgrade of that the Galactica. Galactica was a museum piece to say the least.
They're gonna redo it though. They're gonna come back.
Yeah,
with
they're
Galactica.
kinda-
I'll give it to
talking about redoing.
Stargate. Stargate
It's
said
the same
we're not
thing.
using starships. We're just going to use a
same
giant
thing with
circle.
Bionic Man. Bionic Man. You know who was expired? Bionic 6.
Yeah, you know.
And they got sued.
Bionic 6.
By the way, rest in peace, Mr.
Yeah.
Yeah, Austin.
Austin.
Star-
Bionic 6 was expired. Copied. But the only thing they did different was they made 6 people that had Bionic
Lee
6.
Majors.
The cartoon.
Lee Majors. Yeah.
Lee Majors.
The cartoon was dope though.
Yeah, it was
Hell
good.
yeah.
It was good. My guy was the girl and the Chinese guy. Those two.
Minute you saw this, you know something was happening.
Yes.
Minute you saw that
But
was
that's
it.
what the original one.
But they're talking
They was
about
not- they was not
revising
doing
it.
that.
Hold on.
The
I
original way
saw
wasn't
something
that.
where it said they were talking about revising it.
Yes, I've seen it.
And I'm looking forward to that revival.
seen that.
Looking forward to that revival.
As long as they
because
keep it anime.
I made
Yeah.
him mad the other day when I said that
But
Borgs were.
originally they were not supposed
What?
to hit their hands together.
What did you say?
They were just supposed to run, but Bionic Man.
I
was
said
about
this
to
on
shoot them, so
camera.
they did this.
So I've said this on camera
Say it again.
before. That's why I said it. He gets mad every time I said this. Like, the Borg were inspired by the Cybermen from Doctor Who. So
I have had to learn
Tell me
to
I'm
accept
wrong.
it. I've had to learn to accept it. I have.
Cybermen came out first, okay?
But cyborgs in general were
Did it?
way before that.
Doctor Who.
Doctor came out in 1966.
Which
No, sorry,
Doctor?
1963. Doctor, the first Doctor, 1963,
Well-
and went on until 80 something. 89 was when the movie came out. So I think it was like early.
You can say the same thing about the Gotcha Men.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh my God.
Gotcha, man. Now you're taking me back.
Gotcha Man and Ultraman.
no,
Yep.
No.
Gotcha Men.
Gotcha Men was
the,
different.
And the Power Rangers.
And the Power Rangers.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they were all
Well,
side
the Power Rangers was a
Sentoki.
version
Part
of
of the
Gotcha
Power
Man.
Rangers, I was just having this argument with Raiden yesterday. Part of the Power Rangers, I told him, I said, all these things that you're watching now,
Yeah, they just
the
reboots.
Diggermans and all
Mm-hmm.
this, it's a ripoff of the Voltron.
Yeah.
Voltron.
Yeah. Retron. Speaking of which,
No,
since
no,
you've
I'm
opened
sorry.
the
What was
door.
the word that you use?
Inspired by.
Now that you've opened the door to that one,
Which the Voltron fandom is freaking
Yes.
crazy.
I read an
He was
article.
watching some digital thing and they were putting, but he said,
Uh-huh.
but this one is different. These are wolves.
Oh, bull.
That's the same thing.
No, but he's trying to, he's trying to win. He's trying to win with the debate.
It's a little dusty in here.
No, it's the same thing.
That's a quarter eyebrow if you want to do that.
You want me to
But
clear
now
your
that you
throat?
mentioned Voltron, I came across an article, and it's true.
Nobody heard it but you.
Voltron that was done, I think, in Australia with
I always hear it.
with Henry Cavill.
What, the original?
No, the one that they're doing new
Oh.
with Henry Cavill. Oh my God!
This man
Rita
loves
Ora.
Henry Cavill.
No,
but
Rita
me
Me
Wow.
Ora.
and,
Taking so
me and
long.
Pedro Pascal. It's like-
Rita Ora.
He's a valuable choice,
You
though.
understand?
Henry Cavill?
I know words in my heart. Rita Ora. She's in it too. But they said that this one is the tightly closed, solid wrap of nothing. No teaser trailer has yet. And they finished like, what, 3 or 4 months ago, I think it is, in May. They finished. Now there's all principal
Maybe
production.
it's not 3 or 4 months
Maybe
ago.
they're not making the movie. Maybe they
6 or
decided
more,
that
but
actually
either
what we
way.
made was
But
not good.
now they're putting all the pieces together.
They're putting the pieces together, but there's been no advertisement, no teaser trailer, no posters.
You want to know why?
Nada.
Nobody cares about Voltron. That's why. No,
No,
I love
I
you.
think
but-
it's mostly.
Voltron has a big
I
fan.
know.
There was
There's
gonna be a
huge-
picture of nothing but
first
feet
of
in the air.
First of all, the fact that I love you guys, but the Voltron fandom from the anime almost destroyed Voltron. You're lucky. You know why? You know what I'm talking about. Y'all lucky y'all getting this movie. So lucky, yo.
And they chose the right one, the 5 lions, and not the second one with the cars, the helicopter, like 13 pieces to
Was it
make
like
one freaking
IGPX?
robot.
I used to love IGPX.
Oh,
Listen, and I'll form the head. That was a porno.
yeah, that's
That's a different.
We can go to the titles of those later.
That's a fanfic.
I'm pretty sure that's a
That's
fan
a
flick.
fan-
Those are fan films. in
Those are
regard-
fan films. Definitely.
No, but I think it's closed just for the fact of
Tight security about it. They don't want
people
no
doing
leaks,
it,
no nothing.
stealing the ideas. And all
No
that.
one's gonna be stealing the Voltron idea.
I'm putting that face.
Nobody
like, who's gonna
wants it.
steal that?
Everybody did already.
Nobody wants it. I'm still mad.
Rangers,
The
they
Power
did.
Rangers movie that came out though, that movie was dope.
Wait.
That movie was dope.
I'm gonna throw a little bone in this because the reason why I think they would steal it, because remember the hype of both Pacific Rim, 1 and 2, and what was the third? And then there was another, and then there was the first,
And I
the remake
love
of the
Guillermo.
Power
I
Rangers.
love him, and even I
You know,
was
the
like-
remake of the Power Rangers, which was
No, the movie was dope. I don't know what
It was
anyone's talking
good.
about. That
It was
movie
good. I'm not gonna say it
dope.
was great, but they've taken too
Rita
long
Repulsa was
to
so cool.
make another one, and now they're talking about it, making another one. But it's like what? How many years now that have passed since that? I was like, it had great success. So what happened? Usually, I would think you got good success, you made some good money off it. You should be jumping into the sequel. They haven't.
I think there was
All the movies
issues
that
with a
you
lot of
see,
their
every single
contracts. Is what
movie-
happened.
Cranston as
Cranston was Zordon.
there you go.
That was amazing. And then this chick was Rita Repulsa. Yo, it was
Yeah.
amazing.
So I'm like, what
There you go,
happened?
with
But
all the movies using AIs, which they used to use special effects, but the AI is helping them with the special effects. But there's 2 directors in this world that still don't want to use it.
Guillermo del Toro said,
Nope.
Steven Spielberg and Jackie Chan.
well,
They
yeah.
Still, Jackie Chan used one movie in the green screen. He said, I like it because my body didn't get hurt. He said, but my acting wasn't great because I
Yep.
didn't feel it.
nope, exactly.
Steven Spielberg uses like robotics and all this stuff, like
Yep.
for
Practical
Jurassic
effects.
Park
He's
and
all about
that.
practical effects, and I'm not gonna lie. In certain aspects, practical effects
Effects are
work
better.
so
Yeah,
much
you're right.
better
I
than
think that's
anything
the number
else.
one reason why Jurassic Park became so famous.
Alien too.
Yeah,
Alien
Alien.
became so. Alien came out the same year as Star Wars and Star Trek, and which out of those three movies became like they all became, but out of all three, that was the best movie made that year because of the practical effects.
And they did
Still
not.
stands the test of time too.
Yes.
Aliens
That's what I'm
did
saying.
not
There's certain
use.
things.
Did not. You know how I knew that Aliens was coming out? On the top of a boarding somewhere. There was no. I mean, I didn't see much of a trailer. I mean, they have a trailer, but I didn't see much of a trailer
They just
for
had
it.
the eggs,
It was
right?
one billboard. It was out of my. God rest her soul, abuelita. I was at my grandmother's house, and twice I knew about films that I didn't know were coming out. One was Battlestar Galactica itself, the original '78 version, and then Aliens. I was walking by Grand Concourse, and I look over where the old theater was at. Now it's like a variety store, and I look up in the back, and I was like, wait, Aliens?
Do you remember
Two?
those theaters?
I'm like, what the fuck? I went to those theaters.
Me too.
As a kid, yeah.
'Cause I remember the billboard with the alien coming out of the billboard.
Yeah.
I saw.
Yeah, exactly.
that.
I
And
saw
then to
the-
me, it's like, oh, that's brilliant. And then all of a sudden, like, okay, you didn't spend like a whole ton of money on this, so the movie's got to be great. Well, one way to find out is to get in. Of course,
There's
the
certain movies.
first time I watched the movie, someone made it impossible to watch because she was afraid of the
That's your problem,
xenomorph.
bringing a child with
She
you.
turned into a face hugger for me.
That's
Everybody's
your
laughing their
problem.
ass off because I'm trying to watch the movie.
Who brings a child to a horror film?
But then,
I hate. I don't.
Mom, not me.
Not my problem.
They're
Not
thinking
me.
about doing Superman, and Superman part of it is AI.
Yeah, well, we already saw
a
what
lot of
happened
more
with the
green
Justice
screen,
League.
anything else, more
Yeah.
practical
I still
effects.
believe-
Some of them they said
I
they're gonna do
wholeheartedly-
because it's cheaper.
Yeah, it's cheaper.
The one flying that you can do on the table, which Reagan
Right.
did on the table, that one they're gonna do. But the wiring ones, they said it's more money and more time versus just them telling the computer.
Yeah, but
"Take
it
this
looks
man and do it over
weird.
here."
But it's
weird.
gonna look weird. I still
Maybe
stand by
not, I
this.
don't know.
No, I still stand by this, and I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but you know the Justice League scene, that whole scene we always talked about, the weird mouth. I wholeheartedly believe that was an AI.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh,
do
the
not
mouth with the
believe.
mustache?
I do not
Mustache
believe
gate?
someone went in
But
and
that's the
did that.
problem with
That was
AI.
AI. I
Yeah,
wholeheartedly
if you
believe.
move your mouth, but you say a word differently, the AI tries to match it, but you can see your original lip.
And that's
Yeah.
why it looks so bad. AI is not like in that regard. In certain aspects, it does not look right, and that's why Guillermo del Toro recently was doing an interview about his movie Frankenstein, and he said that he was like, yeah, whatever, and then he's like, I'll leave it at this, FAI, and I was like, yeah. He was like, I'm
But that's
never
why
gonna
they doing
utilize it.
AI where it's a little difference when you can tell. They trying to tell them, but by law, there's no law that caught up to it yet.
So now,
No.
but if
Well,
they
there's never
utilize
been no law
AI,
for
but
the
then
internet
actually
to
fixed
begin
it up
with.
with actual.
There's no law for the internet to begin with. Like I said, every piece of technological advancement of communication between two people online has not been restricted by the government because that was pretty much, like you could say, a no-fly zone for the government. You can't regulate what you say on there, but we'll keep an eye on it, meaning that Big Brother is looking. Man, if you say something that says president this or that or kill or whatever, boom, guess who's knocking on your door? But anything else?
Like
as far
right
as
now,
like
they might knock on our door because you said it.
Yep. But I got a question before y'all guys go. Y'all talking about AI doing these things and all that. Wasn't we warned in the movies about AI a long time ago?
Yes.
yeah,
And
Terminator.
it's called, Jason Bourne.
oh yeah,
When he was like, that's not me.
oh yes,
And they-
right.
Wasn't
Jason
it
Bourne.
with, Face Off,
Mm-hmm.
John Travolta and Nick.
But that was practical effects on that
Yeah,
during
no,
that
but I'm
time.
just
That
saying,
wasn't
They were
AI.
speaking about how they
Yeah.
changed their thing with the AI thing.
Yeah.
So they were talking about this a long time ago.
Yeah.
You know, so who knows? Maybe some of these movies that we think it was.
There's a
green
whole
screen-
movie AI,
Oh.
the artificial
But
intelligence.
that's
But
again,
I love that movie.
That's
That
the
is such a
opposite
good
end.
movie.
Right.
That's the opposite end. But then also on the other end, like I said, Tarkin being in Rogue One, a guy who's already dead. Yes, it's CGI, but it advanced
But
the
it
story.
wasn't
People were like,
AI.
"Oh, it
I'll
wasn't
tell you
AI,
what
but it was
AI
CGI
stands
and close
for.
too."
Speaking of CGI, wasn't they did The Crow, Brandon Lee.
Oh yeah, they had no
The
choice but to
ending, they had
digitize
to
the
do-
face, the
so-
other actor.
But it wasn't AI. That was
No, but I'm just
CGI.
saying,
Yeah.
if they still a lot of directors will still use it. It's still good, but it takes so long.
But you see, you said that's
Yeah.
not AI.
But when you have
you
a
said
good
that's not AI.
artist, okay. So the first instance of CGI in filmmaking, if I'm correct, is also Star Trek, right? It
Yes.
was the people
Undiscovered country.
the people who did that scene are the same people who went on to create what is that animation studios, Pixar or something like that? Not
Pixar.
not Pixar,
No?
the other one.
Funimation.
DreamWorks.
DreamWorks,
If I'm
okay.
correct. It was one of those companies. They went on to create that. So like that, yeah, it costs a lot of money to make that.
Yeah.
But look at what we've gotten now out of it. Like
Well,
the
actually,
time
they
to
did-
actually put into it is why I said the difference between
That's
art
why,
and the.
that's why the
They did
actors back in
save
the
some
days
money.
didn't make that much.
Right, but they did save
Because
money.
The studio to build it cost so much.
They saved money on 6 because before 6, they were using actual models. I mean, there's like in Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan, there's a model of the just the warp. I mean the warp core of the bottom part of the Enterprise that's this big. And then where they launched the photon tubes, you see the guy with the little wiring just scorching the side to make it seem like, of course, the Reliant scorched that, but it's like this big. And the actual size of the one that they use
Didn't they get in
would not
trouble
fit in this room.
Didn't they get in
I
trouble for
seen
the
so
whales?
many-
The whales that the people thought the whales were actually real whales in that movie, the Star Trek
animatronics.
movie. It was animatronics, and they literally.
literally-
PETA was like suing
I've
them
seen
for
so
that,
many
and they're like,
mistakes.
"Actually, guys,
Can you imagine
sorry."
how much money went into just the animatronics for the whale?
But except that, but what a accomplishment that people believed it was real to the point of.
No,
Yes,
if you look
yes.
at Star Trek in general, like the first seasons, I've seen a lot of mistakes.
So many.
Speaker, the microphones coming down,
The makeup
wires on the side.
mistakes.
And then you can tell.
In Game of Thrones, there's a Starbucks.
There's Starbucks cup, the water.
Oh, the Starbucks
The
cup.
famous
the
Starbucks
famous cup. I'm like, what?
So
And I'm like,
there's mistakes there, but then like with Star Trek, I like using Star Trek when I talk about special effects because you can tell when they went from studio to green screen.
yes.
The green screen was more crisp. They could do more. They could run more. With the studio, they was like, nah, bro, you ain't running. That costs too much money. We got too much time. Let's do this, do this. You know what I'm saying? So there was times where now I'm gonna change this whole thing into a Star Trek studio where I can do whatever I want to do. So that's when I was like,
But they still pioneered a lot of what AI has now stolen in the bid to try to make
Right.
it better. But you cannot
it just
compete
makes it faster,
with someone.
it
But
doesn't
you
make it
still
better.
have to go in and fix it. That's the thing. You can't
Yeah.
just do it and it's perfect. No, you still have to put in that touch.
We all from a Latin background here. Didn't your mother says, "El vago trabaja dos veces"? The lazy people work twice.
We're double.
So
yeah.
true.
Or
So
the updated
Eso sí es
version is
cierto.
work smart, not hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I would say that to my son.
Well, that's
Smart,
what
not hard.
that's what AI is all
It's
about. Trying to about. We're
supposed
supposed to be working smart, make it easier. But again, it all boils down to the person behind that computer, and then starts to use AI. Are they actually working smart, or are they just saying "tit tit tit" and oh, it looks good?
And in
no,
this
you
regard,
idiot.
in this regard, how much like if someone's doing this AI, are you really creating a fan work? How much of your fan passion is going into it if you are not actively sitting here and thinking up your own scenarios, thinking up your own
But I just
storylines
said
and
it.
stuff like
It
that?
depends
A lot of
on the
times they
person
more like
behind the
fans.
screen.
They want the like buttons. That's all they're looking
Yeah,
for.
that's it.
Yeah.
They see something that they're like, oh, you know, it'd be cool if I did this and whatever, and then they
He
get
got 1
the.
million. Maybe if I do that same thing.
Oh no, perfect. Yes.
Or that person doesn't have the same following, and that person has a big following, so they just
Exactly.
Mustache Gate, Justice League.
mustache cake. That's what I was talking
Mustache
about.
cake.
The AI.
But yet, a year and a half later, a guy using a different program, I think it was either CGI or the beginnings of AI, not only removed the mustache, but made his thing look all natural, like he didn't have one to begin with.
But again,
And
a human
it didn't
did that.
Cost him it didn't cost him $13 million like the studio did when they paid $13 million to some Nimrod who just got lazy.
First of all, that's the studio's problem because they wanted to film a whole separate film.
Yeah,
But
but
that's in and of
But
itself a whole
that-
different
But
thing.
just
You know
following
where
your
all this
example
came
of the
from, right?
lazy.
Of them using the AIs in filming now. The strike.
Yeah,
Mm.
the strike was
They
about that
figured,
too.
you know what? I'm not gonna pay these people no more because I can use AIs now. That's,
Yeah.
You even
that's
see
where
AI.
all these things are coming from. Companies cutting corners.
Yeah.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna say sayonara. Have a
See y'all
happy
next year.
holiday. See ya next year. And just one more thing. I think CGI is just. I think AI is an advancement compared to CGI. That's all.
Thank you for joining us on season 2. Looking forward to seeing you on season 3. May you have a wonderful Christmas and a happy New Year with you and your family. A safe one as well. And we look forward to the next time we meet again.
And watch a lot of Fan Flick.
And drink coquito while you're doing it.
We'll see you January 5th, 2026. If you've missed any of these episodes, go to the Rican's page and see all these episodes.
Next season, I will be entirely AI. So.
She won't be here.
Live long and prosper.
Welcome to the zone where geeks collide, where comics and heroes come alive. Marvel, DC, Starfleet in the mix. Lightsabers flash, we're nerding out quick.